3rd, 2023. I have the honor. I'll start us off with a pledge. Commissioner Winters will say the blessing. If you would, please rise. And pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty.
I would pray. Father, we thank you for all your benefits and all your blessings you provide to this community. Thank you for keeping us safe with those that go before us, for out protecting us through your will and your protection. We ask you our time together be profitable for community, for those that we represent. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Going to our agenda, I'm going to ask that we move a few things around a little bit. Agenda item A and B, we'll take those up first and then swing back and do the mayor's report and then follow suit. And item C on agenda, I'm going to move that down to the end. That's where we call in the departments that we want for the budget hearing, which is per the budget calendar. So with that, if no one has any questions on that, we'll go to agenda item A, which is the Building and Land Committee recommended to fund fire, burglary, and knox box for projects at the archive building. And I believe the exact same thing, Building and Land Committee recommended to fund a base alarm update and knox box at the annex building. So, Troy, do you want to speak to that and bring us up to speed on both of those, if you don't mind?
Okay, you would do one building at a time?
Sure. We're archives.
Okay, so we'll start with archives. I recommended, instead of putting a sprinkler system in, to just put a fire monitoring system in. So the fire alarm itself would have to be put in if you put a sprinkler system in. With the fire department being so close, I think it's a situation where you put the fire alarm system in, we put a key out there that only the fire department can get to. And if there's a fire alarm, they're 2 blocks down the road. So, they can get there pretty quick and they know how to take care of the fire alarm system and all that. But that's what I recommended. We recommended Alex actually went with all the companies that we could get, and we recommended Galahar simply because they showed up. They quoted what we asked them to quote.
What was the cost on that?
I'm sorry.
The cost, your estimate?
$24,349.71.
24.3. Okay.
Yeah. So that also has within that it will monitor the condition of the building, the temperature. So if the air conditioner quits working, it'll let us know. If the heat quits working, it'll send an alarm so we can go over and get that taken care of since that building's not occupied.
Is that a one-time cost or is there a recurring cost?
No, it's a one-time cost. So there would be reoccurring costs of the monitoring.
The subscription or something like that?
Yeah, it's we can get whoever we want to. There's several monitoring companies. Most of the alarm companies do that, and we have one for the courthouse and the annex. We probably would just add this with that as well.
Very fun. Any questions for Troy? Commissioner Winters, recognize.
What is a knox box?
So a knox box, if you go out this door right here, you'll see it hanging on the wall. It's just a metal box that you'd beat it off the wall, carry it around for 2 or 3 years before you get into it. But we have to get a knox box to put the keys in so they can get in the building, and it's real rugged. Only the Cleveland Fire Department has a key to open it up. We don't even have a key. We have to have them come open it up so we could hang it and then put the key in it.
Kind of like a mini vault.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anybody else? Commissioner Slater.
So where's the money going to come from?
That's what I'm going to ask the mayor here in a second.
Ask one of them up there.
I think I have an idea, Mayor Davis.
In your amendment packet today, if this is approved, there's an amendment in there bringing it out of the archives reserve into a line to pay for it.
Okay, you may go ahead and do with the other building.
We'll take this up and get a vote on it, and then we'll come back to the other one. So it's going to come out of archive fee, which is a reserve fund. And I think I saw that after this transaction, there's about 155 left, I think, if I saw the amendment correctly. So there's plenty in there for this. And the subscription, that'll be in your proposal next year, or something like that, however you want to do that piece of it. Commissioner Alford, do you have anything? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford to accept the proposal as presented. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussions on this proposal? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And I guess the next thing is take this to the full commission, Lori? Yep. Yeah, all right. All right, now the annex. Now, this one, Building and Land Committee recommended to fund a base alarm update and knock box. So base alarm.
Okay, so there is an alarm system at the annex. It's very old, it's a simplex, it's a proprietary, type fire system. So we would have to pay exuberant amount of money for somebody to come in and repair what we have. So what we're recommending is replacing it with a generic fire alarm panel and then just replace all the horns and the heads and all that stuff to bring it up to today's code. And, that's a little bit cheaper doing it that way than putting the whole system in. To put a whole brand new system in up to today's codes would run about almost $36,000.
36K?
Yes.
Okay.
So, our recommendation would be to, update that. It's $18,911.81. And there's a fair amount of documents over there that we want to protect. We definitely want to protect the building.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we recommended that to, the Building and Land Committee. Oh, yeah. And it will monitor the temperature and send us an alarm as well. So that's something that over the holidays and weekends that would be an added benefit for us.
Pardon the ignorant question, but are there any other buildings who need an update alarm, base alarm? I mean, where we're sitting right now, or did we get that after
This is a brand new alarm system that we put in whenever everything went back.
after the
Yeah, after the
fire?
fire, yes, sir.
36,000. And I assume, Mayor, we can't use archive for this.
No.
No,
So-
it's not the 36. It's what we recommend is the 18,911.
Oh, I thought you said 36. I'm sorry.
He did.
That will bring it up to today's codes, and I feel like it's a little bit overkill. We feel like that.
Oh, so 18 is all you need?
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for Troy on this, Mayor? Where is it gonna come from?
Now, this one, I don't have an amendment until you approve it, but you really have three choices. You can pay it out of your 599, you can approve an amendment out of 189, or you can wait till the new budget, which isn't long. Probably
That would be where I was going.
that'd be the
is-
simplest thing, and I'll probably put it, if it meets all the criteria, in 189 at budget time.
Troy, if we could wait till July 1, 2023, when the new budget's approved, and put this in the mayor's budget proposal, that would be the way to go, I think. I mean, okay. Yeah, here we are, April 3rd, April, May, June, and then you can put it in, so 90 days in a wake-up, kind of. If that's, Mayor, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me,
All right.
because we have a system already, it's just an update.
We don't really need to take a vote on that then. We just say, put it in your proposal.
You might approve doing it, but it'd be in my proposal if you do.
We have a motion from Commissioner Winters to ask the mayor, or request the mayor to put it in his, new proposal for the 23-24 budget. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Everybody understand what we're doing? Very good. Any other further questions? Commissioner Alford, you recognize.
Sorry, had got my mic on. Last time on these knock boxes, you mentioned there'd be a bunch of keys in there. Have y'all come up with a system so when the fireman gets that whole bunch of keys, he knows what room to go to?
Yeah, we can work that out. I think what we could do is number the doors on the outside and number the keys
I just
appropriately.
want to make sure you keep that in mind, cause something I think would be very important.
It would be great if we had a secure, lock system, but I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty
well, that's
expensive to go through the
expensive.
entire building to do that.
I understand that, but I think if you had the keys numbered and the doors numbered, I think it would be very beneficial to the firemen or rescue whoever's in there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Alford. Any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Thank you, Troy. I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank you for this past Friday. We had some storms come through, about 5, 6 in the morning? And your system of alerting people worked. My wife was down in Birmingham visiting our youngest son, and I get a phone call from her from Birmingham saying, take the dogs down to the bathroom. So your system is working. It's alerting people all over the place.
Going out of state.
No, it's just,
Take not a priority.
take the 2 Boston Terriers down there.
She didn't care where you stayed.
I can-
So you can find your way.
Anyway, thank you, Troy. I appreciate it and all you do over there at EMA. All right. Now, those 2 are done. Lori will take care of getting them to the full commission. Then we go back up to the mayor. Mayor Davis, you're recognized.
And there's only one of those that would go to the commission, because the other one would be in budget.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, credit card report, fire department, no charges this period, assessor, no charges, sheriff used it 6 times, but all good. Mayor used it 1 time, all good, EMA used it 1 time, all good. Unless you want more detail. Any questions?
Any questions for the mayor?
The only other thing I have that I'm asking, I guess you would say respectfully requesting your approval to pay something out of your 599. One day, one of my dear commissioners was a little hot, and another day, some of them were a little cold. We've had some issues lately in the courthouse, and because of the 2 floods in the annex, we've used our money for things like this. So we had to get it done, so we went ahead and paid for it. Now we're asking permission to pay for it out of your 5. We went ahead and ordered it and got the billing on it. Now I'm asking to pay for it out of your 599. What is it? I've got copies if you want it, but Decker Heat and Air, $150, electronic controls, $300, interstate mechanical, $900, Ed Supply, $2,300, for a total of $3,731. And that was to get the heat. What it was, some of the control boards, electronic control boards in the heating system, air system in this building went bad, and they had to be ordered and replaced. So-
Okay. So basically you need $3,000 out of 599.
Right, 37, 31, 34 to
37.
be exact.
Didn't want to short you 700, right? We got plenty of 599. We're moving some for tuition or something. Yeah. All right.
Love to
Pleasure.
second
Oh,
it.
wow.
I'd love to second it myself.
I jokingly told Miss Slater that if I'd had the money, I'd have fixed it a lot quicker, but I had to take the slow route because I was going to have to get approval after the fact.
Oh, you're the one that needed the air change.
No, it's
We
something
have
we
a
had to
motion from
do.
Commissioner
and so-
Slater to approve the $3,700 out of 599. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and that's all I have unless someone has something.
Any
for me.
questions for the mayor? Seeing none, Commissioner Alford, please.
They did replace the systems in this building, but we're not still in warranty with things like the boards. The equipment we may be, but not the things that always go out on things like this are those electronic boards, and they're very expensive, well, sort of, but they're not still covered. If that's, no. And
All
we
right.
tried, what took a little longer too, for Cindy's sake, we actually ended up spending $400 that we shouldn't have because we were trying to do it locally, and when you call interstate in, they cost a lot, but we ended up having to call interstate after all, so it didn't work out. But
Thank you, Mayor. Going to the budget amendments, first page of the budget amendment, we have County Commission. We are moving money from 599, which we just hit $200 over to office supplies. And motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes 5-0. Next, also, County Commission, moving money, $700 from $599 over to travel, because we got these conferences coming up. I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes 5-0. Next one is the county mayor's office, $1,112,084. It's art money. This is for the HVAC and the new roof that we approved the resolution, I believe, already. So this is just the accounting piece, right?
Yeah, can I say one thing?
Please.
I have this in the budget request for next year, but since you've approved the contract, by the way, we're waiting on signature on the contract. From the auditor's point of view, I've got to have the money available.
Oh,
This won't happen in this budget year, I can tell you that, because these two areas are very slow to get, they won't start until everything is ordered and in place. So I don't assume it'll be happening until late summer probably. But if you were looking at this year's budget, you guys approved $1 million expenditure, and I don't have the money in place to pay for it, so we're amending it. More than likely, it'll still be there, and it'll be in the budget request then. Does that make sense?
it does, but all it's gonna do, if I'm correct, is it's gonna go back into the fund
Right.
balance for Fund 128 and then come out as
Right.
an expense. Whoop-de-doo.
But we have money to pay for something you've approved doing from the auditor's
Well, it
point of
ties
view.
up the money, yeah.
Yep.
That's so dumb. Anyway, all right, we have a motion from, but I guess we'll get the vote. Motion from Commissioner Winters. We have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Mayor, they're not even gonna start the roof or HVAC or anything till the end of summer, August, September.
Well, the
They got a
contract,
beautiful summer to get ready.
the contract says that they have so many days from the time of delivery of products. That's the way you have to do roof projects now. Once they get the roofing in place, then they've got so long to put it on. But more than likely, it'll take, my guess is 6 months.
To get it all done. So across the street, you had that started from the day that they started till I assume it's finished.
Mhm.
How long did that take? And it's
Didn't take
that's
long,
about a quarter of the size.
But we waited for months on the product. So from the time we signed the contract till it was done was a long period of time, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm assuming
But the
here.
prices are quote unquote locked in. So if there's any inflation impact, it's
Well,
unless the contract says something.
yeah, I don't want to say a lot to the world, but that one over there said contingent upon prices at the time of delivery. That's the way all these things are right now too. So, but it didn't change, but it could.
All right. So I have a motion and I have a second on this amendment. Do I have any further discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Again, this is art money. This is out of the 21 million that we'll be talking about for quite a while. Next one, budget. Bradley County Mayor's Office, $2,500. Same account. It's moving from custodian supplies to part-time. Okay, I assume you got enough money in Social Security for that 2,500, but I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. So you got some part-time money over there, Mayor. All right. Bradley County Mayor's Office, $800. He is decreasing expenses in the same account. This is archives. And I didn't even know they had an archive conference. That sounds kind of fun. Anyway. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0, $800. Also, sticking with the county mayor's office, now we're moving from 345 over to 512.
This is going from restricted to cover the fire alarm for the annex that you just approved.
Oh, did we just approve? Okay, so I have a motion. This is the accounting piece of what we already just approved. So I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Oh, I did have a question on here for you, Renee. This is kind of outside, but it says here the balance is 150 after this transaction. But you look at that account, It's got, so this is one of those accounts that has multiple reserves in it,
No, this one is just for archives.
just
If
for
you're- But
archives.
if you're if you're looking at that particular number, the reserve account,
It's got 300,000.
there are different accounts that flow into that one, but yes,
So 34510
yes, there's multiple ones that go
has
into that.
multiple in there.
Mhm.
What are the other ones that are in there?
I don't know, I'll have to look when I get back across the street.
All right. Next one is human resources, $3,930, and she's moving money from unemployment over to testing and other charges. I assume that testing is drug testing or whatever.
Drug testing.
All right. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Excuse me. All right, now we move into the health department, a whole whopping $400. Increase in revenue, increase in expenses, so it's money coming in. This is a reimbursement. All right, very good. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0, even though she put it in handwriting. Health department.
Don't like handwriting.
$25,000, and it's going from a 400 account over to 500. So increase in there's money coming in, payments for school. Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Tuition.
Yeah, I have a motion to accept the amendment from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And she also wrote on that one. Misdemeanor probation. 5,000. He is decreasing. He's staying in the same account. He's moving from probation officers, which is a salary line, over to data processing. And I know he's looking at a new system over there, but I think that's the budget request. All right. So he's in his own account. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. All right, next we're going into the assessor of property, Stanley's office, and he is decreasing expenses and moving it from $8,000. What is the proper term, Renee, when you kill a PO? I know it's probably not the right way to say it, but he's ending the
He's
PO.
liquidating this PO, and this is wrong, I need to fix this. It will go into fund balance and we'll bring it out. These are prior POs. These are ones he had set up, I think, to do.
Yeah, he has them
Yeah,
all in here, but I
excuse-
just wanted the
When I
correct way.
void them, it will go, when I liquidate them, it'll go back into fund balance.
Liquidate. Okay.
Yes, and we need to be bringing it out of the fund balance, back out of the fund balance and putting it into his expense item.
So we roll this to next month and get it done, right?
We can, or I can just, if you vote on it, I'll fix this so it's correct in the thing.
So you're gonna move the money into the fund balance and from the fund balance into the expenses?
Yeah, when I liquidate these, they're automatically going back into fund balance.
Yeah, that's just an accounting thing, really. All right.
So moved.
We have a motion, does his motion need to include that you're gonna move the money into the fund balance?
No, I will fix his.
You'll
budget
fix
then.
it on the accounting piece, all right?
Yeah.
Commissioner Winters approves moves that we accept the amendment as presented. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Then you see all the POs that he just liquidated, not killed. We don't use kill. Liquidated.
Big term.
The whole PO thing is gonna be something we talk about a lot
$1 million.
later.
How many 1 million?
Now, just so everybody's up on page 23, as it's written on the top right-hand corner, Vicky Town. Everybody good? All right.
I don't have it.
There you go. That's it. Those are just the POs that we liquidated. Supporting documentation.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Vicky Town over in juvenile court. She is increasing revenue, increasing expenses, so it's money coming in. This is a donation from the Master Gardeners. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there you see the check right there. Next one is Juvenile Judge Andrew B. Morgan. He takes and he does a decrease in two lines right there from the same account, a little bit different. And he is moving from money from tuition and travel for that total right there, increasing other charges for his website. So it stays in the same account. I guess we don't have a line for website. Anyway, do we have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Next amendment, EMS, Mike Guerin. He is decreasing expenses and increasing expenses, so he's moving money within his account of $2,023 from office supplies over to vehicle and equipment insurance. This is the one that we asked for a little clarification on, and I believe it's for the new vehicle that just came online, the convalescent van or something like that. Anyway, I guess.
Nice.
Is that right, Mayor? That because his insurance should have been covered for all his vehicles in the current budget enough.
That could be with VFIS. Local government doesn't change when you purchase a vehicle in the middle of the year. But VFIS may, they're totally different, so I'm not sure. You have any idea, Renee? All I know is to pay their last VFIS payment for the year, they're that much short. So for whatever reason, I'm not sure.
Lori, is that the one that we sent over? Well, he has money in office supplies, so. Yeah. But what I was concerned about, Mayor, is if we bring vehicles on and we pay X amount for the vehicle, we need to consider that there's a insurance payment that's going to come along with it.
Yeah, well, we need to check on VFIS. VFIS only does the two emergency.
Fire and ambulance, right?
But normally, like if I buy a car today, our insurance doesn't change until next
Yeah, like
contract.
the sheriff and
As long as
yours.
It's not more than $150,000 on a vehicle, and none of our vehicles that are on our local government pool
Yeah.
total that. And this one, they pay quarterly, this insurance company.
Yeah.
I know they've gotten some money back over the year. We've put money into their account where they've taken a vehicle off. So they do adjust it per vehicle.
All right, do I have a motion? Lori, please. So VFS does adjust according to the number of vehicles and types of vehicles.
A question.
Commissioner Slater, I'm sorry, please.
So the next amendment basically is a refund check for VFIS for $2018 for where they took trucks off. So why would they not just credit that and we just pay the difference?
That may be the difference after that credit. I'm not sure.
It's $5.
But what I'm saying is, with the $2,000 credit, there might still be the $2,000 owed.
Payment.
Yeah, that's what it looks like on paper. I
But
didn't
that's
have that
not the true
discussion.
amount if that's the case, then. Yeah, you get, if the credit's going towards the,
Same thing.
we'll get an answer to that, Commissioner Slater. or we gotta pay the premium. This is a premium payment. Lori, if you'll remind me to, formulate that question and send it over, Commissioner Slater, well, good question, we'll get that.
Go together.
We'll vote on that one here, vote on that one first, the next one.
See, with these amendments, they're making it look like the final payment is $4,040 roughly. That's what it looks like. You got a credit of 2,000 and you got a 2,000 that they need.
And there's the check for 2018 from Fletter, whatever. So we'll get some clarification on that. But he's staying within his account. Well, not on the second one. But that's money coming in. All right, we're on page 26. Sorry for all the. Do we have a motion and a second yet? No, I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes 5-0. Now, the next one is what Cindy was, Commissioner Slater was referring to, is now we have money coming in, and there's the supporting check right there. That's a good question. But we'll accept the money, we'll accept the check. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. That takes us to page 29. And now we're on the fire fund. So we're in Fund 121. He's decreasing expenses in 307 communication and instructional supplies, I'm sorry, and office supplies, and he's putting it all in vehicle and equipment insurance. So his insurance went up as well. What the hey? Yeah, 6,200. So this must be this. Bet that should have been budgeted in 511 when the current budget, what we have in there, should have had enough in there to cover all his expenses.
You just put $1 million ladder truck on it.
So,
We'll increase it.
so it does work different than Go.
Well, on the pool, if we put $1 million vehicle on it, they will
That's
increase
a
it.
definite change there in the fire.
Okay. Well, $1 million, $6,000 for $1 million vehicle, yeah. But I gotta make a note anytime we buy stuff like that, insurance is coming along later for their part. All right. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Bless you.
Bless you.
Sticking with fire in 121, $26,535.33. He is increasing his fund balance and he's increasing his expenses. So this is a budget amendment to move grant. Oh, this is the
Firehouse grant.
Firehouse subs grant they got.
oh.
Revenue coming in, putting in the line to buy the
How could I
thermal.
miss that?
How much did we get from Firehouse?
Yeah, 26,000. There's the check right there.
Oh. Eat some more sandwiches.
So it does.
Hey.
So we do get money from Firehouse subs when you round up.
Yeah.
I was always wondering about that. All right, money coming in to the fire fund. That helps them out quite a bit.
So move.
So a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Thank you, Firehouse subs. Might have to go over there and
Me too. Me too.
no, I thought it was somebody out of Jacksonville. No, I did not know that. Well, we'll send a thank you letter.
That's great.
26,000, and they don't earmark it to what it has to be spent on. It just it goes in their quote unquote general fund, right?
Well, it does, but they I don't know if they asked or we told them, but anyway, it's for the camera system that's mentioned there.
Hmm.
They know that's what it's for.
And we had to apply for that? Is it just they?
You do
Spread
have
it.
to apply, yes.
Yeah. Good. I think that's the first time I've seen Firehouse Sub grant.
And we've gotten them before from them. They do them every year, and this is probably the second or third.
I have to eat there more often.
Yeah, that's right. You do. They're good.
That
They
is good.
support
Look,
fire
yeah.
department as well.
All right, moving on. Bradley County Fires, still in 121, a $500 donation from Mr. Jackie Evans Trucking. Do I have a motion to accept the
moved.
amendment? Have a motion from Commissioner Winters, have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0, and there's Mr. Evans' check right there.
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
do we send, in donations like that, do we send a thank you note or something from the county?
We
for
do.
that?
Lori writes
we?
up a nice little letter and thanks them. Usually it comes from the chairman. Right?
Yeah, great.
Because this will eventually go to the full commission,
Thanks.
right?
We don't.
So,
Well, if we get $26,000 firehouse, and this amount of money, we ought to do something.
we'll send a thank you letter.
Great.
Thank you, Commissioner Winters. All right, staying with fire and Fund 121, $976, increase in revenue, increase in expenses, so it's money coming in. This is an insurance check. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. That takes us to page 37. And I'll let Troy go way too early. This is the one we were looking at the other day. He did his, you can see his shorthand math on the next page. So Renee, he's basically liquidating all these POs and
He's liquidating the balance on the PO, which is the $787.83, because when he renewed the copier lease, it's now going to Canon instead of this MSA lease.
yeah, motion to accept the amendment as, everybody, did you hear what she said? Yeah. He's liquidating the balance. A motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Moving on to page 39. And you have supporting documentation up until page
Eight.
48. Thank you. So $5,220. He's decreasing revenue from 44170, increasing expenses into 54410 into his maintenance and repair records. And this you can see from Bradley County Fire Department, Bradley County Sheriff's Department, Cleveland Fire Department, Lee University. All right.
Mylan, this
Yes.
should be increasing revenue, not decreasing. This is new revenue that they're getting in. You
Increasing.
circled the wrong.
Yeah,
Getting money from.
increasing revenue and
Yep.
expenses.
Yep. Why didn't I catch that? Yeah. So he's increasing the revenue because it's money coming in. See all the supporting. Okay, I should have caught that.
Move.
I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. That takes us to page 49, Sheriff's Department. They're moving money out of their gasoline line item into 355, and there's the justification right there. And I'm sure we'll be talking about their gasoline line here pretty soon. All right, but as of now, this amendment is presented. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented from Commissioner Winters? I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Moving on to page 50. Also, the Bradley County Sheriff's Office, 11,000. He's decreasing expenses, also from gasoline, and he's moving it into tuition. In this one, they gave an explanation from what I understand. The personnel that does the fingerprinting over there is committing retirement, and they've got to train somebody on how to read fingerprinting or something at the academy or something, or wherever fingerprinting school is. Anyway,
Let's take
Huh?
Going to UT.
UT, oh, University of Tennessee? They know how to fingerprint up there?
Forensic Academy, yeah.
Anyway, I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented from Commissioner Mason. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Next one, $80,000. Are we in?
Sure.
No. You're not yet.
No. I had a note on this one. I'm sorry, the code cost general. Oh, yeah, this is the kitchen thing. And I guess,
Quote.
yeah, this is the jail. I'm not a big fan of moving out of salary line items, Mayor. I'm sorry, but
This is,
I would rather think outside the box and figure out how we can pay for this somewhere else. But
but this is a savings from the salary, and it is some needed upgrades to the generator. When we had the rolling blackouts, we found out that the generator wasn't hooked up to all things of the kitchen. So this is some very needed upgrades, as well as hooking it up to the kitchen without increasing his budget. And according to him, he doesn't have other places, the proper lines, he doesn't have enough money to do it.
but it's a one-time cost, and wouldn't that qualify for art money? I know you don't. But 80,000 is.
It's
big
not a
enough.
purchase of something, though. It's upgrades, and
Okay.
I would rather
just
not
hate
have
to
to
use
deal
it-
with art
I
money
just
on
hate
that.
to use his salary money like this, but if
Well, it would be going back in the fund balance is what you're referring to,
Yeah.
and I agree, I want it to go there too, but this is something he'd probably be requesting in the next budget, and I don't prefer it to be in art money, I'm sorry.
I know that's why I said it real silently. But we use federal money before we use our money.
I understand.
I don't know, that'll be his issue if it does, it'll be up to him, but I guess before he can bid, he needs to know he has the money, if it does have to be bid. For upgrades, I'm not sure right off the bat, but
We did kitchen with a former, yeah. Well,
But you did-
the upgrade is the generator that goes to the kitchen, not the kitchen itself.
it's to upgrade the generator and hook it up to the kitchen.
Okay.
It's all in this amount of money. You approve the amendment, if it has to be bid, then he has the money there to go bid it, is what it amounts to.
All right. So 80,000 from their 106 deputy line over to 336. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And she gives a good detail of her payroll, her all 27 of her payrolls on how she's got the money to do it, which I find interesting. And there's a supporting, it was the generator right there. Now we're going to page 55. Again, it's amazing to me how you can have 125,000 in 106.
Well, that's because of the 30 vacancies.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's good to come out of bad. So all those vacancies aren't wanted, but it is saving a lot of money when you have them. And so this is using them for some things that they need, in this case, necessary.
But utilities have increased 125,000. And you can't say anything.
Big facility.
Be interesting to see what. All right, we have a motion I don't have anybody. All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, passes 5-0. Keep in mind, between those two amendments, $125 plus 80,000 just came out of their salary lines. Just make a little note on
And you've
that.
got another 10.
Oh, I'm not done. Am
Hey,
I?
you're not
My
done. You
bad.
got one more.
My bad. I'll stand corrected. Oh, there's our 10,000 that we added to the 80 plus 125 plus 10.
Right.
Out of 106. And they want to move that over to transportation. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0.
And the rest of them are all in service. Services rendered.
Rest of them are all services rendered, so we'll take them up as a package. I do want to note one thing. If you guys get out the page 59. As you know, when it is a government entity that they're doing the services for, they don't charge everything, but since it's non-government, you see, take a look at line 307, $900 into communication and $900 into law enforcement supplies. That 900 that or 18 could have gone towards those ones that we just passed, couldn't it? Anyway, so we're going to take these up as a package. Any questions on that? You know what we're doing? All right. We have a motion to accept the last amendments as a package. Their services rendered from Commissioner Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner. Anybody? I can't fail for lack of second. That's Slater. Have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And that concludes the budget amendments. We'll finish that up there, and we'll move into our agenda items. All right, finish that right there. We've done A and we've done B. Budget hearings is going to be towards the end. That takes us to Sheriff's Department Organization Chart. This is just a request, but I wanted you guys all to know, as we get ready to get into budget season, and we've seen the budget request from the sheriff, I've asked Lori to request an org chart from the Sheriff's Department. And it's the typical one you've probably seen all over the place, with the sheriff's at top in the box and lines. I think it's in our actual budget, right? An org, not the sheriff's or anything. So anyway, Lori, if you would please, when you have time, if you'll get that together, it'd be really nice if we had it by April 14th, but definitely need it by mega meeting. Commissioner Slater.
And it needs to include all these open positions that
Yeah.
we've seen previously on here. It's not just current staffing, but open positions also, please.
All right, so we've got that request. Lori's going to work on that for us. Any questions on that? Seeing none? All right. Next thing, Mayor, I think we chatted about this. Instead of calling you into a hearing, I was hoping we could go over 179, 180, 172 and 189 real quick. Because usually during budget hearings, we call everybody in. If they work for you, we call them in, but the 172 and 189 comes from you, correct?
Right.
So this is kind of a if you will, hearing, but everybody has page 558 in the budget request, which is 172. Shouldn't take a second. Does everybody have it? Give it a second to get to it. Page 558. Mr. Mason, you good? Oh, you can look off Commissioner Slater. She's got it there. So, we'll wait for Commissioner Alford. Everybody over there have it.
Still going. I'm on the way too. No, start from there. We go to the back of the book. Go there.
By the way, you have to return these folders back to Lori. She spent a lot of money on them. 558. You got it. Waiting on Louis. You got it? 558?
Yes, it would have been easier when.
You got it, Commissioner Alford? Oh, my bad. I didn't want that. So, Mayor, fairly easy budget request. The 3,000 for Thrive. We don't hear much from them. I get the emails on kind of what they're doing, but basically Southeast Tennessee, the general area, they help us out. I don't know, but do you get anything from them? Because
Yeah, they actually had their meeting in Cleveland last week. Where the development district is 10 county, Southeast Tennessee region. Thrive is 17 county, I believe. Southeast Tennessee, northwest Georgia, and northeast Alabama. And they worked several years ago. The federal government started promoting the idea of don't come to us one-on-one, but come to us as a region. And that's when Thrive, it's a region surrounding Chattanooga in all directions, was created. And they work a lot with the federal government and TDOT on transportation issues, things like that. Heavily responsible and involved with the, have any of you ever been down Highway 411 and seen the new rail thing that's down there? What do you
heard
call
about
it?
it.
You've heard about it?
I've never seen
What's it called? You think of it right quick. Anyway, if you go down 411 barely into Georgia, a lot of your things come there and get put on trucks that go out from there, which has probably caused some increased truck traffic for us. But anyway, things like that. The regional concept of improving transportation is one of the biggies. Of course, they work on broadbands and all kinds of things. We are merely making a token amount to the organization so that we can claim we're part of the 17 county area. But is that enough? I
Yeah, I mean,
if-
3,000, I think that's what we gave them last year, right? And
Yeah.
the benefit is they speak on our behalf over,
And they do. Connie Vaughn, you may know Connie Vaughn from McKee Bakery. She's been chairman of the board. I think she's outgoing anyway. She's chairman of the board, if you know Connie. Good organization, very similar to Development District, except they're not bringing us grants all the time. They're working to get things done in a regionally concept.
so, the revenue that comes into 172, is it exclusively hotel motel tax? It doesn't bring any property tax, right? It's all hotel, so this 3,000 is part of the hotel motel. I mean, everything will be. So the next one on here is the trustees commission. We know what that's about. And then the 450,000 that's in your request, it says transfer to debt services. So obviously, we got to pay some kind of debt over there.
That's your debt
Industrial
payment
park improvement.
for the industrial park. And
Is
what
this-
we do there every year, of course, with the variable, it's not really variable rate that we pay Mike Smith, but it does change annually. It'll be changing soon upward. So the interest will be going up. And what we do there, let's say interest causes it to go to 350, we've got 450 then that we're paying toward principal, getting it paid down as soon as possible.
Okay, and that's a part of the interfund.
That's the interfund loan, one of the two interfund loans with trustee's office, and this one is on the industrial park.
Right. That, I'm going by memory, which I shouldn't do, but that quote unquote cost or whatever that project was for the incline that was out there years ago, that's finally done, right? I have to go back to
You
last
talking
year's.
about the interchange?
Yeah, there was an additional cost for in, I'm going by memory, I shouldn't do it, but it was in last year's
The
budget,
hills. Anyway, that top number up there, the interchange it's called,
that 212. Yeah, okay,
we,
that's it.
we've paid our part out now.
So we're done with that.
The
So
commitment is
so from here
done.
on out, 172 is just basically our debt to
It's supposed to be for the industrial recruitment, which is basically, at this time, to pay for the industrial park.
Any questions on 172 on why those numbers right there? It's only a 457,000 request out of that fund.
It was more last year because that's where you move money into this fund to fund something at the Industrial Development Board. They needed city and county to do
That
some,
credit thing.
right,
Yeah.
and you funded that, but that was a one-time thing, so it's back.
Moving on to 189, which is capital projects. Going through that real quick. 35,000, that's trustees commission. You know what that's about. 50,000 is for the sheriff's vehicles. This is, last year it was 100,000, and this year the request is 50,000. We'll chat more about that. But that's what that's about. The 240,000 is a new ambulance. Mayor, you're proposing or requesting another ambulance. I'm assuming one ambulance equals 240 or
Yeah, the latest is actually, I think, 280.
280.
That line is subject to change and/or move to ARP. We still have one in ARP that is supposed to be delivered this summer, and if it gets delivered this summer, you would like it better if I moved that to ARP, I realize, and we probably will do that before the budget proposal. It was mainly just plugged in there now as a way of holding it in case it doesn't make it in ARP, but I think
This
it
is a
will.
total new, of all the ones that we've received or have already approved as of now, this is an additional,
Right.
and we're not buying any more internationals.
The one coming this summer is another Chevrolet like the last one. I think that'll make our third one. We just got the new van. So we've gotten two Chevrolets, a van, and now the third Chevrolet. This one here would be the next year's version of the Chevrolet, yes.
Okay. So it's safe to say that Bradley County, as we, over the last, 4 or 5 years, have increased the number of ambulances, convalescent, or the internationals, or the Chevys. I mean,
Well-
we've got great coverage, right?
We have to an extent, but we've also put 3 or 4 have died that are, by the way, out there for sale now on the Gov Deals. But remember, we had an international to die, one of the new vans to die, and I'm talking about badly. So they've been replaced. So as far as keeping a running number, I doubt at this point that we've increased the number. We're just at full.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
So some get 86, a new one comes in.
We went through that period. Reason it became an emergency back in December is we had 86, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And the van, for example, wasn't that old, but it basically got totaled in an accident. They didn't total it, they fixed it. It was a problem from then on, and then it died. So that's why we're not wanting to fix it, because my first thought on it was, let's just put a new engine in it and go on, but it had a lot of pre-existing conditions, if that makes sense. Shouldn't say that. Hope nobody's watching from Gov Deals. But we do have 4 on Gov Deals now. One of them may bring some decent amount of money, but mostly they're junked at this point. I would say, and I haven't done a count on it, it's the reason I'm answering you like this, but I would say we're about at a break even as far as total number. Now we will be back to maybe increasing, if this one possibly is an increase.
Oh, okay. I was hoping to be able to say that we've increased the fleet, but it's, well, better than going backwards, that's for sure. I
There's
mean,
more on the road than
trend.
there was, but
we got
we're
better,
replacing
but
a lot of them.
We
that hadn't been.
are discontinuing purchasing internationals, right?
Yeah, you know, we did the 2 for 2 reasons. We were starting to have problems with the internationals. One of them died, by the way. It's in the, but also, we could get the Chevrolets a whole lot quicker and at a whole lot better price. So the two that you ordered and we got delivered in December, we did that, and so far they really like them. I would say the consensus is they like them a lot better.
And the maintenance on those is not as bad, if I understand.
Well, they
But-
sold us that on the internationals too. Who
Yeah.
knows? But it's a smaller vehicle, which I don't like the looks on the road as well, but the drivers like them.
That's what I've heard as well. So basically, we're budgeting for another ambulance, and it's more or less to keep our fleet to a certain level. It's not so much.
Well, I would say this too on the two in December and the one that should be here soon. Those are total new ambulances. For years, all we did was get
A
a
chassis.
chassis,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we refurbished the box, put the same box on there. But those two Chevrolets were total, and of course the van was total. You can't re-chassis them, and I'm 99% sure the one coming soon is a total. So that's the difference too. We've not only re-chassied them, but they're total new.
And you've got the personnel now to man all these. Good.
This is true. Knock on wood. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's what that 240 is, and I'll just put 280 just in case. But
Yeah, that number will be
it
changing.
may change in your proposal coming in June. Next one is 65,000 for other equipment, fire generator. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but if you want to add anything, you
But I'm
can.
gonna stop you there, right there. As I'm going through the various budgets right now, things like that are appearing in some people's budgets, I've got to get that general fund down. Remember I told you it's 4 million out of whack? So if somebody had a generator, if Stanley Thompson had a car or a generator in his budget, I'm pulling it out and putting it in
That's-
189.
I was getting ready to say that.
Because that helps me in the general fund. That's what that one is. That's what the next one is. That server, I think I've run across a second server somewhere that I'll probably be changing that number to another server. But they will be items that would fit the criteria of 189 that helps me in the general fund.
Absolutely. You're way ahead of me. The 65,000 coming out of 189 is better than hitting the fund balance.
Right.
Same thing with that. I was going to say we got. I don't know if you were copied on it or not. Road department. This finance server. This is local government requiring that we upgrade our servers, and it's for Renee.
It's not necessarily just local government. Audit told us when our IT audit from the state came in, and she said that Microsoft will no longer service the 2012 servers, and that's what we all have. So trustee is your other one in general fund that's.
Trustees got, yeah, I guess that's the one I was thinking of.
Well, and roads.
The road
Roads
department.
in a different fund.
Yeah, the thing about roads is
But-
it possibly will be here, but I'm not sure.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Pretty much to me, and this is just my opinion for what it's worth, any computer equipment that's over 10,000, or this is 9,900, call it 10, needs to come over to 189, because I think the sheriff also has some mass storage arrays that they want to purchase. And
But that's what we're looking at, and
But
that's why this
basically,
number will change between now and
so
then.
your 189 proposal is going to be a little bit different with additional stuff in here.
I started to say it'll be a little more, but the next item on here has been zeroed out, so it possibly will stay about the same as it
Probably,
is.
yeah.
But it definitely will be changing.
All right, so the local government for the trustee's office and from roads, if we can put that at 189, that would help their fund balances. Because the same concept with yours. Like the mayor just said, on the 791, there other construction, Oak Grove Elementary, that's been withdrawn. And then the last thing you have in the request is 1.2 is our 10% for the match for the science wing over at Bradley High if they get the grant.
If they
And-
get it, you've committed to it, so we have to show it as budgeted, right?
Susan, I'm glad you're here. If you have any updates on that, we're all ears.
No, this is a FEMA grant, and they're different. They're learning that. I think they've got different people handling it down there than they did the one, for Walker Valley. But even that, FEMA's different every time. They're slower. They don't give you a deadline. They don't say you've got to this date, and then we'll let you know by this date. But the application and all that's in, and sometime in this next budget year, they'll get the word on it, I hope.
So you think by June 30th, 2024, we'll know what?
Yeah, we should know about the grant, whether we spent the 1.2, I'm not sure.
And
but
if
yeah.
not, then we'll just carry it over
Right.
then. Yeah. And that is all there is to 189. Obviously, subject to change, but this is part of the budget request. And instead of calling you into a hearing, I thought we'd just take some time to go over it now. Any questions on 189 and 172 of what has been proposed? That gives us time to work on the others at the budget hearing next Friday. Mayor?
If I could say, I'll have to go over 189 again because it will be a little bit different once I do it. And on the 172, I'm going to always budget as much in that 599 line as I can because I want to get that debt paid down and gone. And that's really the only thing that should be coming out of this fund from here on anyway, so we can do that. Interest rates are up right now, so I won't be able to do it a whole lot, but we've always paid a little more on principal than was. Michael sent me a bill, and we always pay more than that, if that makes sense. I'm hoping to pay a lot more this time, but the interest rate may negate a lot of that.
And speaking of debt, 151 is not in the budget request, but that'll come in your proposal,
Yeah, we work with
Cumberland.
Cumberland right up almost to the last minute on having those debt payments in place, but it will be in my proposal.
I think everybody was here when we did those interfund loans. I know Commissioner Offer, you were here. You weren't on finance, but everybody, Cindy, were you here when we did the interfund loans? Real quick, I'll do the 20-second version, right? We did 3 interfund loans. The first one was for the workhouse. The second one was for industrial, this one right here. And the last one was for ESG, and I think lights were in there as well for the park. Basically, we borrowed from HCI, and we pay back it just like a regular debt, but it comes from different parts. The workhouse, in theory, comes from the fees that workhouse collects and stuff like that. Obviously, 172 pays for the industrial park, and the savings, in theory, from the ESG pays for that piece of it. But what I think would be interesting, correct me if I'm wrong, is what is the payoff amount? We got that a year or two ago, right? How about this? When you get a second in the next week or two before we get to mega meeting, if we know what the payoff amounts are for those 3. Those are the only 3 we have, right?
Right.
We've never done another one because the auditors.
I don't plan on it. I hope you don't make me.
Only in an emergency, like for death emergency, would we do it?
Auditors make us book it differently, and
Because we have to recognize on our other side.
and somebody didn't know what they was talking about could sure give me a hard time.
Any questions on that? 172, what we're doing, 189? Thank you, Mayor. That goes, now we go to Art Fund Review. What was this one? Oh, so as we get into art money and all these funds, I've asked Lori if we can have a review of the art money that's been earmarked. Mayor, you're coming with a proposal with some changes in it soon?
Yeah, I will, first of all, I'll have everything that's been approved for ARP in the new budget. For example, what you approved today, I think I already have that in the new budget, but it'll change because we possibly will spend some this year and then the balance will be in the new budget. But also I'm going to be coming with you to approve and updating the plan, where we put some more money from water into the, what do you call the bucket? The one where we have some, you all have the say so.
I call it the COVID bucket.
That's what it originally was called. But anyway, there'll be a update to the plan coming probably in the next voting meeting, because I'd say it in April. That's so that our budget and the things you've approved will match the plan. You know, the boxes I'm talking about. The only box that will change from here on is as we run out of time, we'll move more water money to this other bucket that
Right.
you all can make the decisions on. That bucket is growing, the water bucket is shrinking. At some point, it will need to, because we still got like $2 million there, and the time lag is so slow on that, it's almost like broadband, it's taking forever. But, probably by the end of this year, we'll move the rest of it to that bucket. And then in that bucket, I don't remember, that's where the change in plan, it has the lighting for the park, it has these two projects you approved today. I don't think they were in the last plan, it might have been. It has the match to a grant that the health department's getting. I believe
I don't
that's,
remember that one.
I believe that's all at this point. Oh, and it has the new amount for the Hiwassee utilities. A smaller amount for Hiwassee utilities, but it still leaves a significant amount in your water bucket. The only thing I ask on the water buckets is if you're still treating them like HCI, please let them accumulate and let's don't continue to have $18,000 approvals. Let's, because we combined the last two or three you did anyway into the contract. But every time, if you do them individually, if I don't sit on them and accumulate them, then we're doing a lot of different contracts with Cleveland Utilities. So we ought to get anybody, any request that's gonna be out there for water, get them in like we did for,
Oh, that's interesting.
some of the other things. Let's get them in, total them up, and approve them all so that we can move on it as a group. Because we have to,
Bundle them up.
yeah, we gotta do an ARP resolution on everyone, we gotta do an amendment on everyone, then I gotta do a contract on, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's the only bucket left to work on, so I just hope you'll treat it like that from here on.
That's interesting in a sense because we do have a request that came in just the other day. I didn't put it on today's agenda because we had a full agenda already. I put it in May. So if I understand you correctly, what you are recommending we do is take all the requests in, set a deadline like October this year, something like that, and bundle them up and pass them as
Or you might do an earlier deadline and then a second deadline. It's
Eh.
not gonna do any good to improve, I don't know what this one is, but let's say it's a $20 water line. We've already got a few contracts out there. Getting it approved today versus next month or June isn't gonna be any difference because unless it was an extension of one of those, and I would
No,
hope
it's
that's
not.
not the case.
It's
But you see what I'm saying?
I do, yes. But I'd say let's settle. This is open floor here. What do you guys think? October, November, towards the end of the year, Lori is basically collecting them and communicating to the applicant that we're taking these in and we're going to be taking them in until we set a deadline, and then we pass them all as a package, as a bundle. And then that's pretty much it with water.
Then at that point, we can take the odd
And
amount
then
and
that
move
allows
it
us
to
to
your
know
bucket.
what what's left over in the bucket that we can move to other buckets. But where do you guys feel comfortable setting a deadline? I'd give them fully the rest of the summer, maybe in the fall.
Cause they're not
That
gonna get
gives
done
us
until
time
next
to
year
appropriate the
anyway.
money and get the projects done. Except, Cindy, Mr. Slater? Whatever. Down a date. Mr. Slater, where would? Mr. Mason, most of these projects are District 4, District 6. What do you think? You understand what the mayor is asking, right? Let the applicants come in over the summer and into the fall, and then we approve them all or not at one time, and he only has to do one contract. Is that am I saying that correctly, Mayor?
Right.
Yeah.
And
So we just got to come up with a cutoff line of and let Lori know when she can stop accepting applications. I assume so because we'll probably move money out.
that
of
would be next year,
into
HCI probably.
24. Yeah, and with HCI, the 24-25 budget. Yeah.
That's what I would perceive. And in the meantime, the media can be telling the world, hey, if you have any water projects, contact Lori. She's gonna have to verify that Cleveland Utilities and/or the other utilities are willing to go 50-50 on it, make the list of everyone that she's confirmed, and then at some point you all approve them. Because we're getting into that miraculous 24 where we gotta have everything approved.
And that's
And-
what, yeah, this will give us a comfort level and then
Right.
get the project done by. So, what do you guys think? I don't, September 30th? September 30th, September 30th?
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. That gives you all summer, I mean, from April, May, June, July, August, September.
September 30.
Get the water projects in. Very good. Mayor, looks like we're gonna go with September 30th. We'll call that,
That'll only affect Lori at this point, so.
right, but I just letting you know, after September 30th, then we'll take them all, get them approved, and then you can finish up with them, and then we'll know how much money is left over from the money we originally put in the bucket to how much we've appropriated.
So please understand, I'm gonna update the bucket now, best we know it, then we'll come back and update it after you're through with these water projects for you to decide.
Yeah, we've done, what, 3 water projects? One in the 6th district, one in the 4th, and then this one that over here by the landfill or whatever.
You've got 2 or 3 Cleveland utilities and 2 or 3 Ocoee utilities.
This has nothing to do with the other bucket, yeah. All right, so let's formalize this with a motion. If somebody wants to put a motion together on this procedure, we'll get it to the full commission tonight. Have a motion,
I move a September 30th deadline for consolidation. Pending application.
have a motion from Commissioner Winters that will set September 30th, 2023 as the deadline for applicants on the water project. We have a second from Commissioner Alford on that. Any further discussion? Everybody understand what we're doing? Very good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And we'll get this to tonight's voting session. I think that's a good idea, Mayor.
Thank you.
That way you don't have to do onesie-twosies. All right, that's the art fund, and we'll get an update on art at the May Finance Committee. Next, according to our budget calendar, today is the big day where we will ask certain elected officials and departments to come in to a budget hearing. We've had a chance to go through every single page of this wonderful document. So this is where I open up the floor for anybody on the Finance Committee to say who they would like. And if the elected official or department head has multiple accounts, i.e. like the sheriff, denote what account or all accounts that you would like for. So the floor is open. Just turn on your mic and just tell me and Lori and Renee and the mayor who you would like to call into the budget hearings. Remember, the budget hearings is next Friday. It starts at 1 o'clock. All right.
You can go first.
Commissioner Slater.
Mr. Chair, I would like to request the Election Commission to join us on the 14th.
We don't have to vote on these.
First department.
That's who I was going to call in. Commissioner Winters. Remember, whoever requests it, you're the first one that gets to ask questions when they get here.
Well, no wonder everybody was quiet.
Isn't that my first day? Yeah.
Sheriff's Department, all their accounts?
Yeah.
or what
Remember,
account?
he has sheriff, jail, and workhouse. All 3 accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, Commissioner Mason. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna request Gayla Miller.
Gayla Miller. Okay. Does she have multiple accounts? She.
All of her stuff is in one account. She's over sessions and circuit, so it's just one account.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah. Gayla, Circuit Clerk Miller. Okay. Any others? Commissioner Alford? Parks and Rec, okay. And I believe they just have one, right, Renee?
Yes.
Right.
Well, they have 2. They have the tournament one, and then they have just the regular Parks and
So
Rec.
both those. Any others? The last one, if nobody has any, I'm gonna call roads. And since mine was Sheriff and Rhodes. Nothing. Remember, if you want to chat with elected official, department head on your own, obviously you're more than welcome to. You know, your prerogative. I do it all the time. All right, is that it? Going once, going twice? Oh, all right. Let's go down. Elections, sheriff, Gayla Miller, Parks and Rec, and roads, and not in that particular order. We'll get the. We are having lunch that day, by the way. And I'm working on this part, 14th. We'll have some more definite on that ratio study. We might come to order just a tad early, like 10 or 15 minutes before 1, but once we hear more from the assessor property. All right. Friday the 14th, yeah. Anything else? Commissioner Mason, Commissioner Slater, Commissioner Alford, Commissioner Winters? Commissioner Alford, please. Yes, please. Who does gravel?
County would haul it, spread it for it.
Oh,
Just
is he
have to
allowed
pay
to?
them for it.
Is he allowed to? I don't know. Well, Commissioner Mason, you have a road committee coming up, don't you? Wednesday. Is that something you can take up on your, see if he's willing to do it, we'll take it out of our $5.99, right? Okay, so
Yeah, usually Tom will haul them, we just have to pay the cost of the rock.
oh, we have? Okay. I don't get over that. You're on the road. You're on the road.
My mic, I mentioned to him not long ago in that meeting.
Oh, so he already knows about this.
Yeah, he's aware that I've asked, we'll go bring it up, yeah.
Okay. Then he probably wanted to know how much, or want to know how you were going to pay the bill. So do you need Commissioner Mason to bring this up at his road committee? There you go. Gravels are us. All right. All right, that finishes up the Finance Committee for today. The next one will be May 1st, but we will meet again before then on April 14th. As the mayor just said, we'll start at 1, probably finish about 7. Just kidding. I was going for the humor. There's nothing else. We are adjourned. Thank